Hello everybody, I am Sergio Explains, and today I want to show you how to do a blind tasting. To start with, this is very different from a regular tasting. It has some different rules and it's a lot of fun. It is my favorite kind of tasting. Sadly, I usually do blind tastings for someone else and I don't get someone to do the blind tastings for me, but that is what I would enjoy the most. But here you have the opportunity to experience one, even though it is remotely from the other side of the camera. First of all, for a blind tasting, you need at least two or more people. Um, Actually, it's probably possible to do a blind tasting just by yourself, but that would be no fun at all. So why do you need at least two people? Because one has to know and prepare the tasting. So the other person or people would not know what the whiskeys are. So today I would be the organizer and I would be including you too. I'm making you part of this. You would know what the whiskeys are. Then I'm going to have a friend come over, and he's not here yet. I'm doing this in advance. You have to do these things in advance or hidden from view, or that they don't find out what it is. So and they will experience, my friend will experience the blind tasting without knowing what the whiskeys are. Now, to start with, there are different levels of blind tastings, and if you're going to do one, you have to do it at the right level for the people who are tasting, if possible, to make it fair, to make it fun. So if it's someone who knows a little bit about whiskey, then it would be best to choose whiskeys that are very different from each other. For example, a whole different category of whiskey. Suppose that just like today, we're going to have 4 glasses, and you do a blind tasting for someone who's more beginning. You might want to pour in the first one a bourbon, on the second one a rye whiskey, which is quite different just by smelling it, by nosing it. It's quite different. And then you could do for example, a blended Scotch whiskey like Johnny Walker or Chivas or something like that, another brand. And then finally, you could do a single malt island whiskey like we're doing today, which is very peated and it's extraordinarily different from all the other ones like Ardbeg or Port Charlotte. So those, by being so different from each other, you can make sure that maybe they don't know exactly what brand it is or what expression of that brand it is, but they should be able to say, wow, this is peated or smoky or something like that, and this is not, this is spicy for the rye, etc. So that's the basic level. And on the other end of the scale, where you have something like we're going to do today, four glasses. Notice I'm not saying 4 different whiskeys because this is part of the blind tasting. I'm going to use 3 whiskeys in 4 glasses. One of them, the Ardbeg 10, I'm going to repeat it as let's say, a trick question. But it's not really to trick somebody, it's to see if they can recognize that 2 of the glasses are going to be the same whiskey, and let's see if he, my friend in this case, will say, oh, I like this one a lot better than this one, when they're the same one. Now, it would be awesome, and this is what I would expect of him, because I know he is an expert. I would expect that he would say, I cannot tell the difference between these two. That would be the right answer, but we'll see if we can get there. And also, talking about the levels of difficulty of a blind tasting, I mentioned the easy or beginning and the expert, which is somewhat like very similar or the same category of whiskeys. That's the expert or the most difficult one, but you can also adjust this for an intermediate. For example, in the beginning, I will not show him the bottles or tell him anything else except the whiskeys. I want him to tell me or to tell us what he thinks about the whiskeys with no prior knowledge of what's in the glass. Just by looking at the color, by nosing it, by tasting it, tell me what you think about that one, and the same with the other ones. Now, if based on the answers that we get from the people, if they cannot say, oh, this is Ardbeg 10, this is Arcor, or this is Port Charlotte, of course I don't expect him to say that. I wonder if I could do that myself without knowing what's in front of me. That would be extremely difficult. After he provides some answers at the basic level, for example, yes, they are all peated. I imagine that all these four are single malt Scotch whiskey from the islands, probably Ardbeg, Lagavulin, and other expressions, Lafroig, something like that. That's my expectation, but I don't think he'll be able to nail it exactly what expression of those brands these will be without knowing any information at all, because I will not be showing him the bottles. Then at that stage you can tell the people, okay, this is what you have in front of you. Let's see if you can match the whiskey to the glass. And then they would have to say, okay, this is Port Charlotte, this is Arcor, this is 10, and what happened? We only have 3 whiskeys and 4 glasses. Big reveal, big surprise. 2 of them are the same, and there you go. 2 of those are one of these. You can start by saying that kind of thing. Let's see if that works out. One of the reasons why I don't expect him to nail them without knowing which whiskeys are on the table is because I'm pretty sure he has never tried the Arcor, because it came out kind of recently. I tried it already, he hasn't, or at least that's what I think. And I'm pretty sure he has never tried the Port Charlotte 10. So we'll see what he says about these things. Another thing to consider is what you need before the blind tasting. And let me make some room here, because the ideal conditions would be that you use identical glasses. Sometimes the shape of the glass itself will make the whiskey either look different, smell different, or taste different. So if you're going to do a tasting, blind tasting or not, I always recommend that you use the same kind of glasses for all the whiskeys or all the expressions that you're going to taste. So since I'm going to do 3 whiskeys in 4 glasses, repeat one of them, I chose these copitas and I'm going to pour them now before he even arrives here. I'm also going to do something else. I have little number stickers here, and just in case this is something that you want to do, just in case the glasses get switched around by mistake during the tasting. If you don't tell the person, maybe they'll just switch them. For some reason, tasting this one, put it here, tasting this one, put it here, and then you don't know which one's which. So you do want to have, sorry, they have to be identical. you want to have little numbers or stickers. You don't need stickers, you know, you just can write numbers 1 through 4 or 1 through 10. It doesn't have to be 4 glasses. You can have more, and make it more challenging even. Write the numbers on a little piece of paper and use some scotch tape and glue it to, or stick it to the bottom of the glass. So I'm doing this right now. I don't want to break the caps. This would be number 1, and this will be number 2. This is just in case, you know. It's always, you don't really need them if you just tell them keep them in the same spots, don't mix them, and then go from there. But this makes it even more fun, more professional. So you can just, after this, you can refer as glass number 1, glass number 2, glass number 3, glass number 4. And that's exactly how we're going to do it from my right to my left. Viewed on the video, I'm not sure if if it works out that way or not. So I'm going to go ahead and pour this. The Ardbeg 10 is already open. This is what I was drinking last night. And so another thing you want to do is make sure you have the same amount in all the glasses, or at least close enough. And as I mentioned before, this is like kind of like the trick, but it's not. I'm not trying to trick him. I'm just trying to get the best of him to see if he can identify that these two are the same or not. And here goes the Ardcore. The Ardcore is unopened. I'm going to open it right now for this occasion. And I have a corkscrew with a little blade over here. This always helps open this a lot easier. It's one of my tricks. There we go. And Ardcore is going to be glass number 2. Oh wow, the color is so similar. This is going to be wonderful. Okay, I have to put the cork on it. And now, just in case you don't know this, value would be important today. How much you pay for one or for the other. Because if doing a blind tasting, you were to say, these two are good enough, they're both good to me, I can tell they're different, but I cannot tell that this one is a lot better than this one, then after today, what's the point of spending so much money on a whiskey like Ardcore? So this is one of the important topics today. I don't usually like to talk about value, but value will play a role today. So we have Ardbeg 10, Ardbeg Ardcore, Ardbeg 10 again, and Port Charlotte 10. While I am, this is also an open bottle. I will open it right now. Ardbeg 10 is a traditional distillery from expression from Ardbeg, and it costs. You know, these depend on the market and where you buy them, etc. But I can buy it for under $60. You know, $57 plus tax. Let's say $60 for each one of these two, which is the same whiskey. But the Ardcore, I actually paid $140 for this bottle I just opened, but I saw it last night for $200 at the store already. So there is a huge difference between 60 and, let's say, just to round up, 150, but the price is going up quickly. So if you cannot tell the difference between these two, blind, because if you already know, that plays with your mind. You have to not know what you're drinking. Okay, that's the idea. That's what's going to happen with my friend. He will not know which one's which and how much they cost. And this Port Charlotte, let's see if I can do the same amount. Does that look all right? This looks a little bit darker. Port Charlotte, you can buy it. Also, it depends where you buy it, between $70 and $90 or so. So let's round out $80. So price-wise, this is more expensive than Ardbeg 10, and it is cheaper. Actually, you can get 2 of these for the price of the Ardcore, and we'll see what my friend thinks about this. Something else that you have to take into consideration is the preferences of the people who, I have to put these away before he gets here. He's about to arrive any moment now, and he cannot see them. The preferences of the people who will be doing the tasting. So I know him, he is my friend, and I know he likes island peated whiskeys. These are all actually Isla, which is the name of a particular island in Scotland. My point is, I know he always says, and it's not me, I don't put ice on peated whiskeys, but he always wants ice on his whiskeys. So to each his own. I have also 4 identical glasses. I will have ice ready for him to, after he looks at it and notices it, I will suggest that he does that. He dumps it into the glass to taste it, because that is the way he prefers to do it. Also, I will have a dropper with water ready. You have a hint here of what might be in the glasses, but it might also be deceiving in the case of the Port Charlotte. Port Charlotte clearly looks more orange than the other 3. The other 3 look almost identical from where I'm standing. So I'm going to have a few drops of water, not necessarily for him because he likes it with ice. I prepare 4 identical glasses also for that, for him. The water will most likely be for me. I want to participate and enjoy the experience at the same time he's tasting them. So I have here 4 little copitas. Copita is the Spanish word for little wine glass, and that's the word that we use for this kind of tasting glasses. I have 4 that say Ardbeg on them, and I will pour. I made a mistake. I will do it now. I will pour these 4 for me, so that I can also follow, and when he tastes number 1, I taste number 1. When he tastes number 2, I taste number 2. So this would be number 2. I'm putting down here. This would be number 1. It takes a few minutes to get ready for this, but if you put some effort into it, and if you enjoy doing these kind of things, and I just love it, this is my hobby, you know. I enjoy doing this, and it's not that I'm putting effort, oh, it's so difficult. I am enjoying doing this, and at the same time, I'm making the video with you. I hope you are enjoying it too. And I don't want to get distracted here and make a mistake. Number 2 is the Ardcore. I'm going to pour these for me, so I get to taste them at the same time he is tasting them. I shouldn't have put these bottles away. But I'm kind of freaking out because he might show up at any minute and see what's on the table. I didn't tell him anything except that he would be participating in a video and to be ready to expect that. What just happened? Oh, I put the numbers already, what I need to do. I haven't drunk anything yet, and I'm already doing dumb stuff. Okay, the 1 and the 3 are the Ardbeg 10. I'm pouring these for me to follow him on the blind tasting experience. And it would be fascinating. God, this thing. It will be fascinating to see what he says about them, and keep in mind that he knows about whiskey, and he likes, or his favorite kind of whiskey is peated island whiskeys. The last one has to be the Charlotte here for me, number 4. Yeah, I'm not messing up. I believe his favorite whiskey in the world, if he has to choose just one, it would be Lagavulin 16, which is not one of the whiskeys today, but he might guess that one of these is a Lagavulin, which would be wrong, at which point I will reveal which whiskeys we have here, but I will not tell him which one is which, and let's see if he can match them. So, okay, I made it. I'm going to hide these bottles, wait for him. I'm going to put the video on pause, and as soon as he gets here, as soon as he walks in, I will resume with the video. Hello, come on in. We are recording.
We are live.
Okay, I told you we would be making a video. How you doing, bro? Come on in. Oh, you look like Santa Claus. Oh my God. What is all that? Here, on camera. First of all, congratulations on Argentina
Mr. Campeón.
winning the World Cup. For your information, viewers, we are both from Argentina, our native country. We are Americans, but we are not Native Americans, we are Argentinian Americans. So we are enjoying the fact that Argentina won the World Cup.
Number 3.
Recently. Okay, so do you know what's happening?
We're gonna do a tasting.
Oh yeah? How do you know that? Because you saw this.
A blind tasting.
A blind tasting, because you saw this.
No.
Did I tell you anything?
No.
Okay, so how do you know we're going to do a blind tasting?
Because this is what a blind tasting looks like.
Okay, excellent. This is what a blind... See, I told them before you got here, I was talking to them already when I was setting this up, that you are an expert.
I don't know about that.
And so I made a tasting, a blind tasting, in accordance with that.
The blind
with
tasting rules.
Yes. Do you remember a tasting we went to at Total Wine that they had 11 different kinds of whiskey from all kinds of things, and at the end I said, how about you do a blind tasting on me? I'll turn around, you just pour a little bit of one of those 11 bottles, and the objective will be to see if I can identify it. And I didn't even have to taste it. I just nosed it and I said, it's the rye. Why? Because that was a very basic, very beginning, yeah? I mean, come on, if you cannot tell the rye from a Scotch whiskey, or from a bourbon, or, you know...
Go back to square one.
Yeah, so that was very basic on me. Luckily, I got it right, because it would have been very embarrassing. Now, there is nothing embarrassing on getting something wrong today, because this is the most difficult I could think of, and you're the subject of the test.
Oh, gee, thanks.
It's
all on video.
The idea is that we all learn from this experience, especially you. Okay, you will learn from this experience. So I did not tell you anything before this. This is okay, viewers. While you were on pause, I did something else. I prepared 2 glasses of water to clean our palates between one and another, just in case we want to or need it. And also I prepared some ice cubes here in this little jar for you. I told them already, let's see if I know you, that after looking at it and nosing it in the copita, you would probably want to put it in a glass with an ice cube. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so I prepared this setting for you. I also put numbers at the bottom of the glasses, 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Okay.
Also, I did the same for me. It's not blind for me because I know exactly what they are, but I want to enjoy the experience at the same time with you. So I also have 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I ran out of the stickers for the glasses, so I put 5, 6, 7, 8, which makes sense.
Well, it's good that one of us is not blind, because usually you crash.
Well, you identify what the, have you done blind tastings before?
A couple times.
Okay, here?
I did one here.
Which one?
The one we did the Johnny Walkers.
How many do you remember were there?
All of them.
Exactly, that was the answer. I think there were 11 different expressions of Johnny Walker.
And we had to put them in order from red to blue.
That's right. That was a little bit different though, because you didn't know which one was which, but you knew what we were drinking or tasting. This is the most difficult one, because I'm not telling you, at least not yet. I will reveal that later, of course, because it wouldn't be fair. I mean, what are the chances that you tell me exactly, what these are? So,
if I could, I'd be making hundreds of thousands of dollars working in Scotland.
That is right. I don't think I would be able to do that either, but at least I would be able to get to some point, especially since there is some considerable price difference. That's the first tip of information I'm giving you. There is considerable price difference between these 4 glasses, yeah? And I want to know if for you, one is much better than another, and it's worth spending the money on that or not. Yeah. After this, if you say they're all good, they're all the same, let's buy the cheap one. Why not? Okay. So how about? Do you have any questions before we start?
No.
Okay. How about we start with glass number 1? There we go.
This one.
Yeah. This is number 1.
So I'm supposed to put them in order of which one I like the
No,
most to the least?
no. Just keep it where it is and give us comments. I am most interested in finding out what you think of that expression. Yeah. Don't guess what it is yet. Just look at it and tell me whether you enjoy it and maybe how much you enjoy it and why. Just talk about the whiskey. This is glass number 1. I'm doing the same as you are.
Peated.
Peated.
A little sweeter for a peat.
Okay.
Than I'm
Sweeter than
to the
normal.
Nose. Yeah.
Okay. You're not going to do the glass with
I'm gonna do this first. And
okay. Well, that's my bro. I don't do ice with this. Okay, this is glass number 2, right? What do you get on the nose?
This is more coarse.
More coarse? What do you mean by that?
Rougher.
Rougher? More alcohol?
More chalk, more más carbón, más
Charcoal?
charcoal
Okay.
compared to that one.
So this is not as sweet.
Mm-mm.
Do you like it better or worse than the number 1?
And it's also rougher on going down. I would guess this is a little lower in years.
Okay, we'll revisit that. I have comments on that, but I'll comment later. Okay, how about this one?
Well, take that back. It could be lower in years, that's why it's rough, or is stronger the flavor because it's been in the barrel longer.
Okay, good comments. I'll
So
comment back
you can
later.
you can get that from both.
Okay, how about glass number 3?
Also on the peat side, it seems like they're all peated.
So number 2 is peated too, and number 3 is peated too. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
You have a dropper here if you want to. Add some drops of water. You said the number 2 was coarse. When that happens, the best solution is to add a few drops of water. And I will be doing it next, but you're invited to do it. What happened with number 3?
I hold my comments on that one for now.
You hold your comments on number 3? Are you looking at the colors or not?
Yes, they're fairly close.
Yeah,
This one is the darkest one,
I noticed that too.
which sometimes can mean things and not always, because a lot of times they add coloring. This definitely, I don't believe they have coloring. Most peated Scotch
No,
do not.
I don't think these do, but maybe. I would have to check on the individual expressions. What do you think of number 4?
Un poquito más ácido, lo siento.
In English?
Oh, sorry, a little bit more acid than the rest.
More acid. Okay. So what do you want to do next?
I do like this one,
You like the number 1?
number 1. Let me.
Okay. You are going to put it in the glass. I think you are outside of the frame here. I'll do this. So there we go. We can see the whole thing. I will add a few drops of water, which is what I like to do. I like to slowly sip my whiskeys, especially if they are peated or in general single malts. But I do drink them with ice too. Not the peated though. Number 1, you're trying it the way you like to try it with the ice in the glass.
Correct.
Huh. You started saying that was sweet or sweeter than usual. Do you still think that?
Yes, compared to the rest, they are. It is.
This is the
Let's see.
sweetest one of them all.
Yeah, let me try with.
Okay, so I'm going to go for number 2. Also, a few drops of water. I love these copitas because they have the tasting cap. It is good for doing something like this. When you prepare a tasting, you put the cups on and wait until the people arrive if you're preparing it in advance. Or, let's suppose you serve yourself a glass and you're getting tired and you want to go to sleep and then drink it in the morning. Or
Como cambia cuando abre un poco. Oh, sorry.
In English, man.
How much they
change
when it opens up
with the ice.
With
For me,
ice,
with the water,
yeah.
exactly. So you said this was coarse and tasted like.
now it opened up. It's not as
Okay, so what do you think of it now? That's why I prepared that setup for you.
I like it much better now.
Okay. Oh, me too. Yeah, that is a
Day
huge
and
difference.
night.
I'm still holding some comments on that. I think I know why that is, especially after number 1. What are you doing? Water. Cleansing your palate. Are you? Oh, you drank the whole. No, it's in the glass, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's do number 3. That was more than a few drops. I put a lot.
Lo ahogaste. You drowned it.
I drowned it. Yeah. You guys are learning about whiskey and blind tastings and Spanish. Okay, so number 3.
Now this now tastes the strongest of the 3 so far.
Okay, number 3 is the strongest.
It was number 2 first, but now that it opened up.
Mm-hmm. Strongest, like more alcohol, or not
No.
so good quality, bottom shelf, cheap one?
No, I don't think any of these are bottom shelf cheap.
Yeah, okay.
It just feels stronger, more peated.
Uh-huh. Number 3 has more peat than the rest. Number 1 is sweeter than the rest.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Number 2 now is my favorite.
Number 2 is your favorite after it opened up with the ice.
Correct.
Okay, wow. Check that out. And, come on. Make it a little bit faster. Number 4.
I like this one too.
Well, I like all of them.
Yeah, like
Yeah, but what can you tell me about it? You said sweeter for number 1, and number 3 was what? The strongest one?
it was number 2 first, and then number 3.
Okay. Even after you opened it up, number 3 is
No.
stronger than all of them.
Correct.
Okay. And number 4. Ooh. If I was doing this blind, it would be difficult for me to comment. I see what you're going through. But if I was doing this blind, just based on what I have in front of me, looking at the different color number 4, I would be saying I like number 4 a lot. At least right now and with water. Until I revisit. But that's just my humble opinion. Maybe I'm trying to confuse you. Okay, are we ready to have a verdict and have a reveal and give you more information? After you tell me what you think. Okay, let's talk about prices. Which one would you say is the most expensive one? Which one might be the cheapest?
I mean, they all seem to be Islas. Excuse me.
Okay, so you passed. Just by saying that, you passed. You are past the beginning and you passed the test. Now let's see if you can pass the expert test. They are all Islas. I can confirm that you are right. Which one?
Estamos hilando fino ahora.
No, in English, Ivan.
So we're going to. This is fine work right now.
Okay. I'm still on number 4. You want more water?
Please.
Here I can share some of mine, and you can get some from the little jar there from the ice. Melted ice is good too. It's good water. Okay, can I ask you, are you still on number 1 is a sweeter, the other 3 are not as sweet
Yeah,
as
now
number
that they're all open up, they're and after tasting them, all of them, now they're getting a little bit
What?
similar.
Okay,
Yeah.
they're all similar. So after I reveal, we might as well buy the cheap one.
Yeah.
No,
Is there such a thing as a cheap Isla?
compared to the other ones, everything's relative, you know. So why would we spend 3 times as much on
No, of course.
an expression that for you They are all
That-
they're
that's-
all as good.
That's why I always say, that the Ardbeg 10 is the best money for the buck, in my opinion.
Ardbeg 10 is the best money for the buck. Okay, I can confirm that there is Ardbeg 10 in front of you. There is Ardbeg 10 in front of both of us.
It's tough, man.
Okay, you had enough time. Come on, come on. Everybody, drum roll. Point to the expensive one. On one of these four is the expensive one. Okay? And point to the Ardbeg 10, which is the cheapest one.
Between 1 and 2.
Do you think this is more expensive because you enjoyed this one better, or because this is darker, or why did you choose this as the most expensive one?
It seems like the flavor, it's a little bit more
Complex, maybe?
complex.
Yeah? Okay.
Usually means that it has more, it's either more time in the barrels, or it has different type of barrels. It's moved from one to the other.
Okay.
Um,
So, reveal?
Reveal.
Okay, I will not tell you which one's which. I will give you the answer to what's going on. I put it here just in case you saw it. One of these is Arcor. Yeah, I saw that you brought two of those when you came in. Show them to the camera. This is what he showed up with.
Yeah, I never like to come
Okay, be careful with these glasses.
empty-handed.
Okay, look what he brought. He showed up with two of these. What else do you have in the bag? show the camera what you showed up with. What is that? Okay, I'll help you. You have two of these, right?
Yep.
Okay. Macallan Harmony, inspired by Intense. Does it say the word Intense? Inspired by Intense Arabica. Yeah?
the other one.
Two of them. You showed up with two Arabica and two Arcor. Well, had you tried the Arcor before?
No.
Okay, now you have one of these four is the Arcor. See how it's open?
Yep.
Do you have? Let me reveal the others. I have them here. The big reveal is Advert 10. You know, and the secret lies with Charlotte.
Let's see.
I'm quoting who? Who I'm quoting? No? In the movie, come on.
Which one?
It's the movie that Charlotte is a ship, it's a national treasure. Do you remember? Okay, so this is Port Charlotte 10. Have you ever had Port Charlotte 10?
Not until today.
Okay, now you have, and I'm not telling you which one's which, but this is the big trick. I never said that there were four different whiskeys. There are three whiskeys in front of you in four glasses. So one of these two
It's that one.
is there twice. So let's see. This is intermediate now. This is intermediate. Let's see, and also fair, because it's totally unfair to do that. I would not do it. And unless you are Dr. Bill, you know who Dr. Bill is? Master distiller from Ardbeg. Unless you're Dr. Bill, it would
Like I
be
said, if I could get this right, I should be working somewhere else.
exactly.
Being a millionaire.
You'll be signing bottles like Dr.
Correct.
Bill goes around. Okay, so can you match them now?
I think I would go. This is the Arcor.
This is the Arcor, number 4 Arcor.
I've never tried it before.
I know. See, that's even more difficult, yeah, and unfair.
But,
This is not the Arcor. This is the Charlotte,
Okay.
Port Charlotte.
Yeah, I was going for either one because
I
I
am a-
haven't tried it before, so
I would have chosen exactly like you, knowing that the Arcor is the most expensive one. Yeah. Now comes the very different. This is challenging. If you get this wrong, you are demoted to intermediate.
All right.
You have to tell me, out of these three, which one is Ardbeg 10, which costs $60, and which one is Arcor? How much did you pay for them?
It's in the bag.
Okay, probably 140, 150.
Something like that.
Okay, so
I would say Ardbeg 10 is the best bag for the money.
and if you know me, you would probably guess that two of those three are Ardbeg 10 because I'm cheap. No, just kidding. Let's see. Can you? The color is not helping you, is it?
No.
Two of those are either Arcor and one Ardbeg 10, or two of those are either Ardbeg 10 and one Arcor. Which one of these things is different from the others? Come on, come on. And you at home, what would you say? Would you be able? Of course, you're not tasting it. The idea is to encourage you to do something like this, and hopefully sometimes you can do it with someone who doesn't even drink, so you ask that person, please
the same,
pour them for me, I'm not looking, and then you can do it. They all taste the same after the ice melted.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have the information from before.
I say these two are the same.
And this is
the Arcor.
And this is the Arcor. Okay, that's not correct at all. Number 1 and number 3 are the 10. Arcor, the expensive one, is number 2.
It is the same as Ardbeg.
Okay, here I go with my comments. This is very important for you too, because this information is important. As I showed you before he got here, Ardbeg 10 had been opened already. I opened that bottle a few days ago, and I was tasting or drinking that even last night. In the Arcor and the Charlotte, Port Charlotte, I opened them just now, today, a few minutes ago. Right after you open a bottle, the whiskey tastes exactly like you told me with these two. A little bit harsh, a little bit acid, a little bit, what other words did you use? But these two, you didn't use any, the Ardbeg 10, you didn't use those words. You said it's sweet, etc. So,
because it had already been exposed to air.
That is correct. Whiskey, in my humble opinion, tastes a lot better after you let it breathe, not only for a few minutes or a few hours, but for a few days, including you open it, and this bottle that we opened today and this bottle that we opened today, if you, to start with, leave the cork off for while you're drinking it. While it's in front of you and drinking it, I had to put it back on because I had to hide it from him. But I would have left this uncorked and let it breathe. And if you, let's say you have already drank half a bottle, you put the cork in it and you put it on your cabinet for a month. When you revisit it, you would absolutely love it a lot better than when you taste it as soon as you open it.
It's like pizza. Tastes better the next day.
Well, I think that's a matter of opinion, but it's a wonderful analogy. That was my big comment about this. There was one big difference that you noticed, and you didn't know you were noticing that. These two had been open, these two had not been open in advance. I had just opened these two. And this is...
I could tell right away that there's something that was stronger about the flavors on these two.
That is what happens when you taste it as soon as you open it. So in my opinion...
And it changed once we put the ice in.
Oh, of course, of course. And that opens up a lot, yeah? So, but absolutely a lot of information here One of the best things that I get out of this, and I knew this already, but this is like a scientific experiment with with a neutral subject, that you have to open the bottle in advance and let it breathe for some time, including some days, until it reaches its full potential. As soon as you open the bottle, if you pour it and taste it, it's not as good.
I mean, in my opinion, it could be said about all spirits and wine.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's that's why you have decanters for wine. You want the air to come in, to open up, and then appreciate the flavor to its fullest potential.
Exactly. That's probably the topic for a different video, because wine, as a matter of fact, is alive. It has bacteria in it. It's not a distilled spirit, and the chemistry actually changes within the wine once you remove the cork. The oxygen changes the chemistry in the wine. For whiskey, it's different. It doesn't actually change the chemistry like it does in the wine, but it evaporates the harsh alcohol that might be there to like assault you as soon as you open it.
No, I recommend everybody. I mean, the best way to drink Scotch, whiskey, or any spirit is the way you like it. But my recommendation is to add a little bit of water or a little bit of ice.
Of course. So now that you know, number 1 and 3 were Ardbeg 10. Number 2 was Hardcore, and number 4 was Charlotte.
I was impressed with the Charlotte. It's a complex flavor, and as time went by and the ice melted a little, I like the complexity of it.
This is, you can buy it at Total Wine for $70. I actually made the mistake and bought it somewhere else. I paid $90 because I was in a hurry. But let's suppose you can get it for $80. What do you think about the Port Charlotte? $80 good?
I go with the Ardbeg 10, man.
So don't spend money on the limited editions.
Ardbeg 10 is the best money for your buck.
It is. I totally agree with that. But if you had limitless money, you are a billionaire. Well, would you drink the Ardbeg 10 or the Hardcore? Did you enjoy the Hardcore more than the Ardbeg 10?
I would buy the Ugedal.
Oh, Ugedal. Okay, so you were telling me you thought these two were the same.
Or, of course, Lagavulin 16, which is my favorite.
I told them that before you got here. Okay, can we do cheers? You drank all of it already. Oh my god. Okay. Here, let me pour you. This is the Hardcore. This is number 2. Pour you some of the Hardcore so we can taste. Toast to that.
Laheim, vamos Argentina. Congratulations Argentina on.
Oh my god.
Star number 3.
Okay. Cheers. And there you go.
That was fun.